Coach, how you doing, Coach? Coach, I'll die for you, Coach. I just want you to believe in me. I just wanted you to believe in me. Let's go to the Lions.
And they basically told me if I'm there, it's a possibility they're going to take me. So I had my phone right next to me, ringer on all the way up. Kept checking it, I was nervous, but when I got that call, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it, the feeling.
The Lions take one of my favorite players in this draft class, Isaac Tesla out of Arkansas. I'm giving this an A+. Almost 6'4", 214 pounds, ran a 4.43 in the combine.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. Hold on. Let me try to fix this real quick. All right, there. Well, that's fairly good. All right, how about that all the way? All right. Well, anyways, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Sunday. It's after the 4th of July. It is, less than 3 weeks, roughly around 3 weeks, whatever you want to say, from being the start of training camp. And so now we've got a little bit of a question for you. As you can tell from today's thumbnail, a little bit of a question to throw out to you guys. A number of you guys have kind of reached out, especially it seems like Silver Surfer in the last week or so, and said, hey, why won't we sign free agent, undrafted, former first round consideration, Isaiah Bond, NFL, stud wide receiver. It seemed like it, level wide receiver, I should say, NFL capable wide receiver who just didn't land in the draft. Had all sorts of people taking him at 14 overall in the early 20s. And then the second, third, fourth round, talking about a slide even worse than Shedeur Sanders. Isaiah Bond went through that, leading into one of the biggest guns out there with blazing, 4.32 speed, roughly 6 foot tall, somewhere between 5'11 and 6 foot. Kid had a whole lot of stuff going from him. Went from Alabama, went to Texas. We get it. He was all over the place in college. And then, you know what? The expectations were high for him in the NFL. Then shortly after the NFL Scouting Combine, some accusations came out. And I do want to remind you, everything I'm seeing on this, they're accusations. Nothing's been confirmed or corroborated about these accusations. And then because of these, his stock plummeted. I mean, to the point where he is still a free agent, undrafted wide receiver. There were a couple of reports out there I did find getting ready for today's show. So today's show will be a little bit different because of it. Saying that, maybe the Philadelphia Eagles had signed him 5 days ago, but I couldn't have that corroborated by anything on NFL Network, etc. So he's still an undrafted free agent wide receiver. He's got game-changing speed. He's got ideal size. Should the Detroit Lions go out and take a flyer on him, or some other NFL team, I suppose? We're going to dive into that during the main topic of the day. And hey, there's going to be tons of people who are going to say, no, they shouldn't. There are other people are going to say, man, look at that, what he can do on the field. Go ahead and get him at all costs. Look at our wide receiver core if we were to acquire him. And I get all that. But this is going to be a very interactive episode of Lions Talk Live today. When we get to the main topic today, I expect everybody to have their thoughts on it. Tell me what you think. I'll present the evidence. You guys are the judge and jury. Should the Detroit Lions look to try to sign him to a contract heading into training camp? All right, before we get into that, before we get into the 5 headlines now and everything in between, real quick, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We're going to make that march on up. We are roughly 30 subs away from hitting 13,900. So if you can assist, I would be thankful. Also, while you're hitting that subscribe button, reach on down. It doesn't cost you anything. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. If you watch YouTube for any kind of length of time, you understand it helps everybody on YouTube out exponentially every time they get a subscribe, a comment, a thumbs up, etc. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Can have a quick conversation, see what I can do to use over 30 years in the industry, save you time, money, hassle, make sure you're not overcharged, etc. Buying property, whether it's vacant land, commercial property, or new house, is never easy. It can be a very emotionally challenging thing for people. I'm sometimes reminded of that from time to time. People haven't been through the process. it can be nerve-wracking, but I do my best to try to help you out, try to calm you down, and again, steer you in the right way. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get this show rocking and rolling and going and kicking off with 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming your way. 5 highest paid Lions prove Detroit's success is here to stay. Fan side story by Jason Shardle. So here's what we can say. We get it. Lions draft well. They develop well. If you remember earlier this week, Madden, the video game Madden, gave MCDC the developmental wizard tag on him. It ain't, let's be fair. Him and the coaching staff during MCDC's tenure, all they've done is develop players. They've gotten people in the late rounds, mid rounds, whatever you want to say, and they've made them better. They brought on some free agent players, made them better. People that were left on practice squads, nobody thought much of, they brought them in and made them better. So when you look at that, you look at the Detroit Lions and the players they are investing in, I think you can say more often than not, the Lions hit on success with their drafted players, developing them, and then rewarding them with new contract. You look at some of the highest paid guys on this list. Jared Goff is going to top that list right now, making roughly $53 million per season. When you break down the numbers, it's actually into the 40s where his numbers fall to, but for right now, we'll go with 53. You look at somebody like him, drafted number 1 overall in the NFL by a different franchise, brought over here. You all know this story. He was left for dead coming to Detroit, and the Lions coaching staff have helped resurrect this career to where he is once again a front runner for the MVP. Will he ever win the MVP? I don't know, but I think it's nice that we've got a guy who's consistently in there. Goff, he's just stunning all over the place. The fact that he's maintained his level of success, he hasn't been perfect, but no quarterback is. He is the 8th highest paid quarterback in a per year basis. Now, moving on from Goff, next on the list, Amon-Ra St. Brown. We talk about people you developed, talk about finding diamonds in the rough. You could argue that St. Brown is one of the biggest diamonds in the rough this franchise has ever had, let alone with MCDC. He was a mid-round pick. Nobody thought much of him. You all know the story. There were like 29 gajillion receivers taken before him. Yes, he can name them all off still. And now he is perhaps a top 5 NFL wide receiver. And that comes from Pro Football Focus. So right there, you got 2 big wins there. But it doesn't end there. We go on to Penei Sewell, who's the 3rd best right now, according to Pro Football Focus, amongst tackles. Not just right tackle, not just left tackle, but here you got 2 guys the Lions drafted right off the bat. And what do you have? Potentially 2 Hall of Famers right off the bat for the MCDC Brad Holmes era. Then you go on to Ali McNeil, ranks 9th among defensive tackles. And I get there's a whole lot of Lions fans that were not happy we gave him a big bag of cash to re-sign with the team, to extend his contract, etc. But let that sink in. Out of 118 NFL tackles that they use, Pro Football Focus used on these metrics, he's number 9. He was a 3rd round pick. He was not even the first defensive tackle we took in that particular draft. That would be Levi Onwuzurike, which we all know his story, so I'm not going to go into it. And then finally, out of this list, we're going to go with Kirby Joseph, grading out as first among out of 98 safeties. He's number 1. There's nobody better than him. And guess what? He was a mid-round pick, a 3rd round pick. We talk about people that supersede expectations. I think at this point in their career with Detroit Lions, you can say Brad Holmes, MCDC, and all the other coaches. Let's not leave them out of it. Plus the scouts and everybody else. They have more than superseded expectations for what this franchise can do as far as acquiring talent, developing a talent, and rewarding that talent. We know there's other people on this list that are going to be popping up soon for new contracts. Aiden Hutchinson, and you go through a laundry list of people, Jameson Williams, whatever, they're going to have to get paid sooner versus later. But you know what? I'm guessing they'll handle that. There have been, to be fair, a few misses here and there when it comes to different players. But you know what? I think the misses, if you're only going to look at the shots somebody doesn't hit, then you're not paying attention to the talent on the field. They have missed on a few, not enough to even mention in my particular opinion. And I think you look at some of the early returns on last year's rookie class, the class before that, and then some of the expectations for this year's class, Detroit Lions are probably going to be relevant for a real long time. All right, I've rambled on too long about that. 5 headlines now. The decision has already been made. Detroit media personality dropped strong statement about Hendon Hooker's roster spot with the Lions. Fan side story by Zach Reagan. So this comes from Woodward Sports. I guess you could say most of you guys probably know who this guy is, Sean Baligian. Man, I can remember when he was just on radio on, was it 97.1, The Ticket? But you guys get it. If you've watched Detroit sports over the last, 10, 20, 30 years, you probably know who Sean is. Some people like him, some don't. I'm not here to debate that. But him and Neil Rule had an episode on Woodward Sports just a couple days ago, more or less saying that they think he's already out of here, that the team's already emotionally moved on from him. It's just going to be a matter of time until they cut Hendon Hooker. I'm not so sure about that. There doesn't appear, reading through it, I didn't see the episode. Some of you guys may have. I didn't. I'm just reading from the story. I don't see anything where they're corroborating this from any kind of sources or people they know within the franchise. So I'm assuming it is just an opinion by both gentlemen. Both gentlemen have covered sports for a while. I know Sean's covered it as long as I have, and he is highly opinionated. Is this just viewgate or clickbait, whatever you guys want to say? It is possible. Are they just talking about something during the offseason? This is also a reality. But could it also be that one of them or both of them know something from people within the organization that they feel Hendon Hooker is on his way out? I don't know. I couldn't find anything again in any of the comments, any of the articles addressing this. But you know what? There is some debate, to be fair, that the team is not as happy with Hendon Hooker as some of us would like. I personally think Hooker is going to be fine. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens the rest of this season. All right, Ben Johnson has a chance to snatch defensive end Zadarius Smith from Detroit's grasp. Chicago Bears on SI, story by Christian Tanis. Now, some of you guys threw some rocks at my windshield, whatever, wanted to tip over my Mountain Dew about a month ago when I first got wind of this, reported this, and then, it made sense to a lot of people viewing Lions Talk Live. It also led to some people having some less than kind words to say to me. So here we got somebody from Sports Illustrated, specifically with the Chicago Bears division of Sports Illustrated, reporting the same story. Ben Johnson is trying to sign Zadarius Smith. He's being encouraged by the fan base to do it, even apparently some people on his own coaching staff. Zadarius Smith can play. I get that. If you're just trying to sign talent, that is definitely something worthwhile because, he is a talented player. But it does sound like there's more nefarious reasoning behind it, that Ben Johnson simply wants to do it to upset the Lions coaching staff, upset the team, and really kind of get into their head emotionally, physically, do everything he can to try to make sure when the Lions and Bears play that maybe people are inside their feelings and not doing what they should on the field. They're so angry with him, they lose focus on the game. So if Ben Johnson is doing that, you know what? That is part of coaching. I can't say every coach does it that I know, but I know some coaches do it. They're always going to try to get you off your noggin and get you off your game. Ben Johnson sounds like he's trying to achieve that by potentially, I should say, signing Zadarius Smith. We'll see if that ever happens, though. All right, last of the 5 headlines now. Our current and former Lions on the CFL negotiation list include the 2 former Detroit draftees. Story by Jeff Risden of Lions Wire. Not maybe the biggest news of all time when it comes to Lions stuff, but you know what? It's nice to see that some guys do get another chance. Jerry Jacobs, Austin Bryant are having potential, at least opportunities, to sign with a CFL team if they want. You guys may already know it. If not, I'll help you out. Running back Anthony Titus, who's from Kalamazoo, Michigan, by the way, has also had his rights acquired by NFL teams. Now, whether or not any of these guys do sign with a CFL team, it is possible. It just hasn't happened yet. But this does go to show that the Winnipeg, Blue Bombers have claimed a number of different Detroit Lions players' rights. Could it be they like what we do here in Detroit and they simply want to try to replicate that there? It's possible. The 9 franchises can place up to 45 players on each of their negotiation tables or lists, and a number of Detroit Lions are popping up on those lists again. One other player, his rights were acquired last year, are Antoine Green. You remember the rookie wide receiver who got cut, had a little bit of a head injury. He's also on the list. Could any of these guys end up playing in the CFL versus the NFL? I don't know. If that's what they want to do, I hope they all get their opportunity because it is a way to extend your career. Some of you guys remember people coming from the CFL to Detroit or the NFL, and they have had some pretty good years. I'm hoping that they get to keep doing that 100%. All right, last of the 5 headlines. Oh, sorry, I thought I didn't have any more, but there is one more. Analyst, young linebacker is Lions building block. Detroit Lions on SI, story by Christian Boer. So here's what I'll say. There's been a whole lot of people in the Lions fandom, across media, whatever, they have come after Jack Campbell. But it does feel like that has changed quite a bit, especially in the last month or two. Jack Campbell was drafted 18. There were a whole lot of Lions fans that said we should have drafted this guy, that guy, anybody but Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell's rookie year was meh. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was somewhere in between. Whole lot of people started looking across, man, the Lions could have had this person, that person, and second guessing the draft pick. And then his second year happened. What do we see throughout Captain Jack's second year? Ascension. He got better in pass coverage. He got even better in run defense. And let's be fair, one thing he did a pretty good job of his rookie year was get it after the running back. But either way, you get it. He improved exponentially across the board. And now he is widely going into his third season, being considered one of the top 100 players in the NFL, one of the top 200 players in the NFL, one of the top, one of the top linebackers in the NFL. You're seeing more and more lists put him higher and higher on the list because of what he does. He is, and I know we've talked about it before on the show, he's not Alex Anzalone yet when it comes to pass coverage. He doesn't need to be. He needs to be Jack Campbell, and he is becoming pretty good. He is phenomenal against the run. He is rated as the 17th best player in the NFL in run defense. That's not a safety. That's not a defensive lineman. That's not a linebacker. He's just the 17th best. Let that sink in. There are only 16 people per Pro Football Focus. And I go, they're not the Bible. They're not the one-all be-all. But he's pretty dang good at shutting down the run. I do not have the metrics for him against the pass. That wasn't available. But what we can say is getting better and better. In 2024, Captain Jack led the team in tackles 131, but he is allowing a passer rating of 114.4 in coverage. So while that's not great, it's not terrible. It's not great, but he is getting better and better, and the expectations appear to be that he is going to ascend even more in year 3. I think that's reasonable expectations. You look at the Detroit Lions players, whether this year, the last year, you get it recent years, all you can see is more and more of our players, when they get from year 1, 2 to 3 to 4, they all clearly have a trajectory up, and away. Captain Jack, he might just be the best linebacker on the team by the end of the season. And that's saying something because the Lions are entering this season, 2025/26, as the second best linebacker core group in the NFL. And if he's leading the way for it, I think we all look back and say, man, getting Gibbs and Campbell, that might have been really the right move for this team and franchise. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get on over to the main topic of the day. Main topic of the day. You're building a franchise. You are a Super Bowl contender. I'm assuming everybody here watching the show would agree if you can add talent, you do that. You want a good locker room. You want a good coaching staff. You want a great fan base. You want to do everything you can to keep this franchise getting better and better, getting closer, and going towards the Super Bowl. So how do you do that? You acquire more and more talent. You develop that talent. Isaiah Bonds is an enigma to most of us. Now, again, I know I talked about this during the opening monologue. You had so many people going into this past draft that said, hey, he was going to be number 15th overall pick. You had people saying, man, at the worst, he's going to be like the 24th overall pick. And then he wasn't even picked. You think Shedeur Sanders was sweating bullets day 1, 2, and 3, waiting to eventually be drafted? Well, Isaiah Stewart, or whatever you want to say, I think, not Stewart, but Sanders, I think most would agree with some of his now off-field problems he's had while being in the NFL so far. You can understand why he slid down. For those who don't know, Shedeur Sanders got a ticket for doing like 150 in a 50-mile-per-hour zone, just stuff like that. Some knucklehead stuff. I guess what I would say is they're learning opportunities for him. He hasn't done anything, just egregiously bad, but you can see some of the red flags. With Isaiah Bond, he has accusations that emerged right before the NFL draft that he is involved in a sexual assault. Let's get that out of the way real quick here. I also want to reiterate, as far as I could find, he has not been charged with anything. If I've missed something regarding that, I apologize. But getting ready for the show this morning, I could not find anything that said that he has been formally charged. I do know police have spoken to him. I also know from that research this morning, he's apparently offered an apology to the accuser, who feels that apparently he did something inappropriate. I don't know what the accusation is other than it's a sexual assault. I do know that both parties, the accuser and Mr. Bond, have had conversations. At this point, that's the tough part. We're going on, whatever it is, 4 months or whatever that these have been around and no charges. Now, charges can still happen for a live long time. 4 months isn't an extreme amount, but the longer it goes, it does seem like more and more nothing's going to happen with this. So if you're an NFL team, let alone the Detroit Lions, now you have to look and say, hey, did we miss something here? Is this guy being made guilty before even being offered a chance to prove his innocence? I don't know. The only thing I can guess is that most NFL teams decided not to draft him because they did their due diligence and said, there's just too many question marks here, red flags, whatever you want to say, and we're not going to take him. But if this kid is innocent, now let's review the player on the field. As far as I can tell, he is pretty dang fast. You saw it in the opening thumbnail, 4.32 speed. I mean, that's hauling. There ain't going to be many dudes in the NFL faster than you. He's somewhere between 5'11 and 6 foot. So let's just kind of take the medium and say he's 5'11 and a half. How many teams would love to have a 5'11 and a half? We'll just say 4.3 wide receiver who's got some size, some mass, and can go get the ball in the air. He weighs somewhere between 180 and 190 pounds, so not huge when it comes to a girth standpoint, but, it's not slim either. He's got a lot of pluses as far as a football player, but I can't say whether or not he'd be worthwhile for MCDC or the Detroit Lions to go after. Clearly, he's got talent, football talent. Would you do, crew? And this is basically the point of today's show. Would you take a flyer on him? Is he that gifted where you'd say, man, we bring him in, put him next to, Laporta, St. Brown, Gibbs, Jameson Williams, Tesla, whoever else you want to list on that? Is it just a bigger problem to defend us? And I think the easy answer would be from an athletic standpoint, he is that dude. He is rare. He might have been the number one receiver taken this year draft, or at least, how about this, in the top 5? He would have been one of the first receivers off the board for any NFL team or just within the draft. If you add somebody like that to the Detroit Lions, are you a better football team for it? Yes. Now the tough part is, as a coach, as somebody who wants a certain type of locker room, as a front office, as a franchise, as a GM, do you want to take that flyer? Do you want to be the guy to roll that dice on this kid and bring him in? I can't find much else on him as far as personality, red flags or whatever that happened before the accusation. Maybe there are some. He did, switch schools and everything. But to be honest, nowadays with the NIL, I know some people say, well, you're always moving schools. NIL, I'd say probably 90% of players do nowadays. So is it really a red flag? I'd say no. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it, because I know some of you guys in the last week have mentioned this guy, by name and said, hey, we need to sign him, give him a shout out. I do also want to reiterate, in my book, everybody is innocent until proven guilty, because most of you guys know I've been a reporter long enough where I haven't just covered sports. I covered a lot of courtroom stuff. And unfortunately, while what didn't happen often, once in a while it would happen, where I would have to do a story on somebody who got exonerated from a charge or an accusation, spent 5, 10, I want to say one guy spent 15 years in jail. And then the person who made the accusation came out and admitted it was all BS. They weren't, he didn't do anything. The individual didn't do anything. But that person still lost their 15 years. No matter what you do, they don't get that time back. I have no idea if Isaiah Bond is innocent. I have no idea if he's guilty. I have no idea if the Lions should sign him. I'm just here to say, hey, here's the evidence. He hasn't been formally charged with anything. And from what I can tell, he is a real good NFL player. But there's the big question for you guys, the viewers today. Would you go ahead and sign him? Would undrafted basically free agent wide receiver, you don't have to give him a whole lot to sign him, assuming he wants to sign the contract. But you could get basically a real good first-round player on your team for peanuts on the dollar, pennies on the dollar, however you want to term it. All right, Duke Crew, let's get to you guys, see what you have to say about all this. And if there's anything else, by all means, throw it out there. Michael, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride, woo, and back at you. JDC, morning all, and same to you. Gary, morning everyone. Hey, it's always good morning with the crew around. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. How much better could we be at wide receiver? Question mark. Woo! Man, let's just Scooby-Doo this two ways. Are we pretty good right now? I'd say we all agree. We've got to have one of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL. To your point also, though, boom, we add Isaiah Bond to it. And if he's anything as advertised, anything as you saw in college, how much deeper and better is this team? I can say this. You probably have the fastest wide receiver core in the league, and probably, without a shadow of doubt, if you had any questions if we were the best, I'd say right now you would be the best. All right, Jess, greetings and salutations. Doesn't Bond have some going on, legal issues? He does. He does indeed. As far as I can tell, nothing's been charged formally against him, so it could happen at any time. The only thing is, like I said earlier, the longer it drags on where they haven't charged him, there probably just isn't enough evidence one way or the other to go after him, which means probably nothing happens. Gary, I'd say try them all out. It can't hurt. You never know what you might find. Yeah, you could kick the tires, see what he's got. If you feel comfortable with him as an individual, let alone as a player. Let's be fair. Whoever does sign him, whether it's the Lions or whoever else, they're going to have a whole lot of people looking into him, trying to interview him to figure out who he is in here. And if you feel comfortable with it, you feel like it's all just, just, I don't know, a whole lot about nothing, then maybe you do sign him. Trey, what's good, Duke Crew? Question mark. Sign him as a camp body, see what he can do, have the team look into the situation deeply. Yeah, 100% there. I agree with that fully. Haven't heard anything lately about what's going on with him. Me either. I couldn't find anything that was corroborated. Like I said, there was something about the Philadelphia Eagles signing him 5 days ago, but when I looked at that seemed like, more speculation than anything. I couldn't find where he's actually been signed by anybody. Big Eddie, good morning, gang. I don't know. Sounds like he lied about whatever is going on, tried to hide the whole thing. There was something to that, Big Eddie. There was something the accuser had said that he did, or offered to pay him and get him to sign a non-disclosure agreement, if I remember it all offhand. But that being said, I can say while it's not the norm for a lot of legal cases, that does happen from time to time where, hey, instead of taking this thing to court where it's going to get dragged out for a long period of time, even if the person felt like they're innocent, I'm going to have you sign this non-disclosure. I'm going to give you a little bit of money. And we're just going to squash this thing, go to best. You go your way. I'll go my way. I'm not admitting guilt. So it could be something like that, I guess. I don't know. It could be that he knows he's guilty too. I mean, that also is a possibility. Jess, he was going to be a mid or late round first rounder. Yeah, that's what I found too. Bond is that good. He has a reason. There has to be a reason zero teams have signed him yet. That would be my guess too, is that, let's be fair, NFL teams, let alone the NFL as a whole, they've put a whole lot of money into investigating every player. And I don't care if you're a first round pick or 29th round pick, you get people going through everything about you. They want to know what they're putting on the field and if there are any red flags. So you're right on that. Drake, good morning, Duke Crew. Someone will take him during training camp. Would be nice to add him. I think, yeah, once you get to training camp, especially once a wide receiver or two get injured, that's where I really think, whether it's us or somebody else, somebody's going to sign him, somebody's going to bring him on, and then, hey, it's all, the ball's in his court at that point. It's up to him. Dave, do we know if the accusations are just that or true? Question mark. I don't show he's been charged. Yeah, I couldn't find anything regarding him being charged. As far as the accusations, the only people that know are the two people involved. They know if they're accurate or not, and that's what I can say. There's no way for me to know if it's factual or fraudulent. All right, France, not worth the PR hit we would take on. Okay, there will be some that say that for sure. Time to just, focus on what we have. Let somebody else worry about Isaiah Bond. Kerry, the only reason the term diamonds in the rough exists is because people haven't taken the time to investigate and uncover talent for. Yes, you're right. Every time you find somebody that nobody knew about, it's because everybody else missed them. So you're spot on with that. Bo, accusations are too easy to do. Too easy. I don't know what the story is, but I'm leery of public scandals. Yeah, and if I'm the Lions, maybe that's just enough to keep him away. They just don't want to deal with it one way or the other. To your point, though, anybody can accuse anybody of anything. That is the problem. Now, the fact that it happened right before the draft, maybe he did something boneheaded right before the draft. That's totally possible. Or could it be, the skeptics would say, I should say, that maybe that is why it came out right then. It's because, trying to get some sort of financial reward. I'm not here to pick a side one way or the other. I have no idea. The only thing I do know is he has not been charged yet. Garland, look, if Bond hasn't been charged by now and it's been half a year, I doubt he's going to be. Take the first-round pick, the free first-round pick, sign him. There'll be some that say that for sure. We'll go with that. Gary, good point, Bo. I would agree. Pat, guilty and proven until proven innocent. There's a whole lot of that truth for sure. Pat, if he wants to try out, bring him in, but I don't think we need him. Yeah, do we need another wide receiver? No, but is he better than what you got? I guess that's what you'd find out in training camp, right? Steve, ain't that the truth there, Pat Rock? I'll go with that. Tori, so what's this story? Question mark. I really don't know anything about it. Well, hopefully by now on the show you do know. And, hey, if you got thoughts, throw them out there. Okay, here comes the sun, little darling. I say it's all right. Lions roared this year. Oh, yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah, I think we're going to be roaring a whole lot this year on other teams. Jessica, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. 5 fingers ready. I can't see us signing anyone with legal question marks. It doesn't seem like a prototypical Detroit Lions way for sure. But, again, if he gets exonerated, maybe that changes some things. Lionel, greatest salutations, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Happy Sunday. We already have 11 wide receivers in camp. Don't need more. Too many quality targets for Goff to spread around already. Lightning and Thundercats, ho! And back at you. I like the way you worded that. So small, give him a try until he's proven guilty. Okay. Hookadoo. Agreed, Bo, especially when you're dealing with the NFL players and the money involved. Yes, you are right with that. There's a lot of money involved. Gary, if upper management doesn't like the way a player handles something, all they have to do is go to the press and say something and make it where no other teams want to take a chance on him. Could be, yeah. If somebody really, from to your point, Gary, somebody in the NFL wants to slam somebody, put them down, really kind of bury them, they have the ability to do that. Hookadoo. It's easy to point a finger and say he did it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I can't speak for anybody else. I just know, again, covering courtroom stuff, there's a whole lot of people. And, I won't say like, the vast majority, but let's just say there's 20% of people that accuse people falsely. I have no idea if that's this case or not, but it does happen from time to time. That's why I always try to tell people, when somebody gets accused, take a deep breath, wait for the full reveal to come out before you make a opinion on if that person is guilty or not. Trim Reaver, good morning, coach of the world famous Duke Crew. Woo! And same to you. There be real. Oh, wait. Oh, what up, Duke Crew? Not too much. How about you? Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Lions probably won't sign him. We already have enough wide receivers. I think we will be looking for some veteran backups to jump right in if needed. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the vet squad, that unit's going to be pretty dang loaded this year. Big Daz, probably. I'll go with that. Drew, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Happy Sunday to y'all. Love to you all. And love back at you there, Drew. JDC, tick, tick, tick. It's woo time. Yes, indeed. Bo, did I miss a day? Did you miss a day? It's Sunday. So we'll go with that. There was Saturday there. Vincent, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Woo! Good to see you, Vince. How's your morning going? JK, been drinking since Monday. Well, hey, if you've been doing that, then hey, you're probably had a pretty good week. Gary, never say never. They brought Jamarco Jones and going to see what the violent guy this year. Yeah, you can see that one violent guy this year. He did have a bit of a history. Jones did, but he's been quiet in Detroit. That's the only thing I can say. I don't know anything else. I know he's been quiet here. Chuck, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Back at you. There be greetings, salutations, Coach Dan. There be good morning for you too. Kerry, JK, are you there yet? We'll find out. Nine Drees, good morning, Duke Crew. Good to see you as always. Phil, good morning. And back with you. Hadley Massady. Boy, I just messed that one up. Hassanine. Good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Man, I'm got to get my morning Mountain Dew. And back at you. Hopefully it's a great day there in Cairo. Kim, if Brad Holmes hasn't already jumped on signing him, there's a reason. That is probably the most accurate statement of the morning right there. Look at you, Mr. Hassanin, top of the morning. I agree. JK, Kerry, I'm raw. All right. Trim Reaver, watch Love and Other Drugs, cute and funny flick on Max. All right. We'll check it out. David, been using the peptides from Jen for a month now. I purchased the complete kit so I could tell if it worked. I am 63 and play hockey 3 times a week. Definitely stronger and more energetic. Thanks, Dan. Hey, no worries. For those who don't know, the wife is a bit of a workout warrior. Yes, she got me, whatever it was, several months ago, taking peptides, and I can tell I've slimmed down. I work out, but nothing to her level. I work out, stay active, try to, walk / jog, run or whatever, like 5 to 6 miles a day, stuff like that. But the peptides, everybody I know is taking them. Natural peptides, not man-made ones. They seem to work out a lot. Hey, I guess in case any of you guys want to know, here's her website, JenSavageFitness.com. You can check it out there and see if it's of your interest. How about that? All right, back to the Duke Crew comment sections. Let's see, JK, I'm playing my piano with one hand. You're a talented man. There be 08, the contracts are a direct result of the Lions' success. I would agree. I mean, you got a bunch of guys helping out, putting out big numbers. If you're not paying them to Detroit, somebody else across the NFL will pay them. Robert, greetings, people, and Dan, and back at you, Robert. Phil, Coach, without a daily show, life would have been boring. Yeah, I look forward to doing this every morning, man. I enjoy it exponentially. I get some people don't want to do daily shows. I do, though. I like it. There be a direct result of Brad Holmes' era. Oh, yeah. Hey, let's be fair, man. It all started with two guys, Brad Holmes, MCDC, and I'm pretty sure we're all thankful they are here doing their thing. JK, what did Hendon Hooker do to your mom? Well, I guess we'll find out. Pierce, we need Z. That's all I will say. I think you are right. I think he will be back here, though. You know, I get why other teams would want to sign him. I get why Ben Johnson would want to sign him. I do believe 100% he's going to be back here, though. There be 08. I would love to see Hooker excel. Me too, man. And I think, maybe given the right opportunity, he can. Chuck, the Lions are creating so many Hall of Famers instead of the days of one or two a decade. So proud of what the coaching and management has built. 100%. You could look and at least make some sort of argument that there are several Hall of Famers on the team right now. Jared Goff, we didn't draft, but I do believe he continues the way he's going, especially if he wins the Super Bowl here. He's in the Hall of Fame. Panay Sewell, I don't have any doubt he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Probably could say the same for Amon-Ra St. Brown, especially if it's another 1 or 2 seasons like his current pace is predicting. Beyond that, could Gibbs get to the Hall of Fame? I think that's possible. Hutch, if he continues to go, could he be in there? It's possible. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying it's possible. Kirby Joseph, he keeps going the way he's going. It's possible. I'm not saying with those last 3 that they will make it. I'm just saying it's, a real possibility. I'd say JK, Z is going to be passed around. It could be. Pierce, we don't have anyone else proven on the roster who can win one-on-one. Hey, you never know, man. Maybe somebody unproven, unknown. Maybe somebody rising to the ranks will come up to the occasion. JDC, Puff, woo, Coffee, and Lions Talk Live. Pierce, I'm waiting to see Ahmed, though. Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I think this preseason, you're going to have a whole lot of people buying those jerseys and supporting that kid. I think he's going to break out. All right, Derek, if Benedict Johnson is too focused on upsetting the Lions staff, he's not paying attention to his team. Maybe he's paid enough attention and said, hey, I can't help out here. I better try to do something to their team. That's the only thing I can say there, Derek. There be 08, unless there's a gentleman's agreement in place here, it's even more reason to get the Z deal done. I like it. Indeed. Get her done. What can I do? Agreed, Pierce, and Z and I feel Ahmed Hassanin is going to be the future. I think he will be. He's got everything he can't teach. Now, coach him up. Chuck, Z isn't going to sign with the Bears. He wants the Super Bowl like the Lions, and the Bears are nowhere close to doing that. I like that. I like it indeed. Derek, exactly. Chuck, JK, in 2024, I busted on purpose. All right, fair enough. Remember, seems a crazy conspiracy that Elvis the King lives. He's nothing other than Donald Trump. All right, well, the king is Trump, I guess. All right. You're saying Elvis? Yeah. All right. We'll go down there with that. Dre Day. It's a lose talk when it comes to the defensive end. If there are a top 10 defense with Z, look how amazing we are. Top 10 without Z, we could be 5 with Z. That's crazy. Yeah, get Z out there, and I think we're better. Hookadoo, I agree. The gentleman's deal with Z, and they just waiting to upset the Ben over Johnson. Yeah, maybe that's all they do. Maybe they're doing some reverse psychology and trying to upset Ben. There'd be real. If people don't see Captain Jack's ascension, then they don't know football. I could be accurate with that. Taylor Made Media, good to see you, my friend. Jack Campbell may be why the Lions haven't announced a deal with Alex Anzalone. Maybe you're right, man. Maybe they're like, hey, we got to take some of that money. We already gave Barnes some. He is a little bit younger. We're going to take the Anzalone money and give it to Captain Jack. That could be spot on. Captain Jack is laughing out loud. There be JK. Captain Crunch Jack Daniels. There we are. That's one way to start your morning. Phil, Johnson is such an immature child. Coach, too cute for his own good. It may have worked for the Lions. We have the players. We do have the players. And there are some people there was some speculation yesterday that, and I thought about doing it as maybe a topic today, that did Hendon Hooker's rise or development get slowed down by Ben Johnson, because Ben Johnson is, real good friend with Jared Goff and try to hold him back. I didn't think there was much of a story, but I get some people threw it at me, and I left it alone. Dre Day, Isaiah Bond sounds like a Cowboy player with his off-the-field issues. Might be accurate. Might be a good place for him, and he did play in Texas. Phil, reports say the Bears players are not connecting with the head coach. We will all enjoy watching Johnson fall hard. I hope so, man. And I don't wish ill on anybody, but hey, twice a year, the Bears want to fall down against us. I'm okay with it. Bears, Isaiah, he won't mesh with the culture. I don't know much about him as a person, but at least right now with the accusation, you do have to wonder if Brad Holmes would even bother bringing him in. Kim, our charges have nothing to do with guilt or innocence. This is correct. There have been investigations and teams have avoided him. Most teams are more lenient regarding character than Lions. Go. Yeah, and I would agree with that, Kim, especially the second part. There are some teams in this league that will overlook a lot of things to acquire talent and put it on the field. The Lions don't seem so hell-bent on that. They seem like you really got to fit here. You got to fit what we do, or we're just not bringing you in. The fact that nobody's brought him in yet, that would be a big red flag for me. That they've done their due diligence. They've looked into the matter, and they're saying, hey, no gracias. There be 08. I agree with Hookadoo. On Z, I agree with both of you. Dre Day, JMO issues are barely worth keeping. Don't need more issues to cause distraction for the team. All right, we'll go with that. James Brown, Holmes will not sign a player with off-the-field issues. The Lions want smart, mature, young players who prefer to spend their time in the film room than on the strip joint. Yeah, it could be a whole lot like that. I can't remember the safety last year. I liked him. Brandon Joseph. I liked the kid. I thought, man, he could really rise up and add some depth to the safety room. But you guys all know he got caught drinking and driving, and I think there was probably a little bit more to it than that. And they parted ways with him in about 15 seconds after that happened. Derek, guilty or innocent? His legal issues are a distraction. I doubt the Lions will ever consider him. Probably right. Pat, Phil, I say the same thing. Ben doesn't have Goff. Goff is a lot smarter than a nail painter. Look how many sacks he had last season holding the ball. Smart quarterback would have got rid of the ball. Skip the bear. We'll find out. Uncle Buzz, Bond sounds like a Ravens player. Ooh, maybe that's a fit for him. Trim Reaper, if Detroit wants a great depth piece on the practice squad, I'd give Isaiah a shot. Yeah, maybe on the practice squad, something like that. There you go. Low risk, low reward, or high reward. How about that? Jennifer, Brad likes projects. There you go. He likes injured ones, that's for sure. Pierce, I didn't see, if we didn't take Mike Green, we won't take this guy. All right, I'll go with that. Trim Reaper, looks like rain here. Thanks, Davenport. There you go. Blame the rain on Davenport. Phil, do peptides come in Mountain Dew flavor? Unfortunately, they don't. But if you put them in Mountain Dew, I guess you would have Mountain Dew flavor. Derek, if you sign a clown, the circus will follow. Ooh, I might have to steal that one. Phil, send us some rain. It goes north, it goes south, it goes everywhere but here. Hey, you might need some rain then. Hookadoo, look at all the stuff JMO went through with the legals and what we have now. Beep, beep. I'm down with that. Yeah, I don't know if he had any accusations like to this level, but, we probably all know his story. He's had a few things pop up during his career. There be, I don't think Brad will do this either, but everyone deserves a break / chance. However, it would be nice to see him with JMO and all the other talent on this team. That's one point. I like to say, man, I like to live by the baseball rule. I give you 2 strikes. So if you strike out once, hey, everybody makes a mistake, right? Even though this accusation is a pretty severe one. But if you do it again, that's a no-fly zone. I don't let you get the 3rd striking out. Somebody probably, at the end of the day, is going to give him a shot. I'm just not 100% sure it's going to be the Detroit Lions. All right, JDC, Dre Ford's rocks, and he rolls. Doughboy Steve, woo, and back at you. I like that name, by the way. Pierce, Hookadoo. Now, that was after the ink was on the paper. It was, yeah, with JMO, some of his stuff came out after he signed with the Lions. See, JK, Keg Gallon. Keg Gallon indeed. Hookadoo, True Pierce, Kim. Let the investigators investigate. Surprised at how many are ready to say he's innocent and the woman is lying. Character matters, and there's a reason no one has signed him. No, I agree with you fully. There's a reason why nobody signed him. My assumption is they've all done their due diligence and found enough reasons to say, hey, no, thank you. Are you ready to say he's guilty? I'm not ready to say he's anything other than not signed. How about that? As we're great. Talk about somebody I haven't seen in a minute. Good to see you, my friend. Good morning, Coach Dan Ducru. Getting Bonds will give us 2 sets of number 1 and 2 receivers. Game over for the NFL. And I have no idea if he's innocent. I have no idea if he's guilty. I'm not here to pick a side one way or the other. I'm just going to say, will the Lions sign him or not? Who knows, man? But to your point, Gray, just looking at the football player, he's pretty special. Oh, dang, Dan, I have a hard time walking to the end of my driveway. It happens, man. Yeah, might want to get some peptides, man. They have helped me out exponentially. I know, according to Jen and the people that come over and work out here at the house with her and stuff like that, it seems like it's been a big win for all of them. Dre Day, I'm ready to say he put himself in unwanted and unneeded situations. He did. I mean, that's probably the one thing we can all agree on. Whether you think he's innocent, whether you think he's guilty, you put yourself in a bad situation. Yes, I agree with that. Benjamin, being a U of M fan, Campbell and Laporta were 2 Big Ten 20 player that were outstanding. You have a lot more to look forward to. I'll go with that. Jennifer, Isaiah and J-Mo, Bad Boys, 2.0. Go with that. Could be a new movie. Hookadoo, I don't think he's guilty. She's probably seen dollar signs and said he did it. Yeah, I have no idea, and I won't pick a side on this in any way, shape, or form. Jennifer Savage, oh boy, here we go. David, so happy to hear the peptides are helping you in all the best ways. Exclamation point. So happy to be part of your health and wellness adventure and off the ice. There you go. Yeah, there you go. The wife knows. JDC Magic 8 Ball says defense wins the big one. I concur with that. Good morning, Jen Savage, says the Trim Reaper. Dre Day, that Magic 8 Ball is awesome, JDC. We might have to build it into the show. Jen, where do we get peptides, Jen? Oh, boy. Her website is... Hold on, I got to scroll down on the screen. Oh, boy, I can hear her talking somewhere down. Jennifer Savage, fitness.com. There you go, Phil. There you go. Here to help out whenever I can. All right, let's see. Get back to where I was. Where was I? All right, here we go. Look at morning, Jen. Are you keeping Dan in line? Probably accurate. Let's see, Thomas. If Z does not sign with Lions, he'll be bummed but not worried. Hassanin gets more playing time. That would be accurate. If he doesn't sign, if Za'Darius doesn't sign, some other reps, other people will get more reps. Captain Jack doesn't care about cash right now. Next year it is. Phil, we need a health and fitness segment with Jen Thornton. There you go. Jim Reaver, behind every good coach is a savage, is a good savage. I'm down with that. Michael, a dude with cash makes a huge target. Dude or girl. Let's be honest too. It happens the other side. I can tell you, and you guys know I've coached men's basketball, I've coached women's basketball. I can tell you it happens to the female athletes too. If some of them get paid enough, and I won't name names, but there are guys or the girls that will make false accusations against the females. So it's not universally a male thing where somebody gets an accusation. It happens across the board. Thomas, remember there's a slight mature issue in a player. He's not coming to Detroit. I'm down with that. There be real, come on, best show to start your day with, exclamation point. That being said, smash all the buttons. Duke Crew, there be, oh wait, thank you for that. Thomas, smash that like, y'all. Hit all the buttons while you're at it. Rondo and Thomas, if Bond has not signed with one of the bottom of the barrel teams like the Titans, there must be something there. That's the only thing I can say is I do trust in the process that the NFL and the NFL teams put into investigating people. If all of them are saying no thanks, there's probably something they've uncovered. So I'm not saying he's guilty because I have no clue. I'm just saying I believe in those investigators. Let's see, Rondo of North Carolina. I don't see Alex getting an extension with guaranteed money for 2026. They need all the cash to sign young studs. Okay, we'll go with that. Hookadoo, they can sign him on stipulations on the outcome of the legal issue. They could put something in there. And again, you got to present it. He's got to sign it. So it takes two to dance, I guess. Trim Reaper, the best part of waking up is Lions Talk Live and some Mountain Dew in your cup. I'm down with that. And oh yeah, how about that? Right. Good morning, Jen. Hookadoo. Happy Trails, Dew Crew. One Pride Worldwide. Have a great day, my friend. Bo, happy Trails, Dew Crew. All done and dusted for another week. See you tomorrow. We'll see you then. All right, Dew Crew. If there's breaking news later today, I'll get over to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, if you be so kind before checking out, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. We're chilling when we play today. Let's go with this one.
You're still here?
you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.